There's lots to talk about today, so I have assembled a team of geniusi. Starting with Mr. Spencer Gilbert.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roxy Striar.
I'm a geniusi.
Yes, you are. Dan Murrell is here.
Hello, how are you?
And he's ready to talk MoviePass. We got some Dan crack today, you guys. First, we're going to talk about that Predator trailer. We're going to talk about MoviePass. Kevin Feige talks a little bit about the MCU. Let's get into that trailer first. React. Show me the thumbnail reaction to the trailer for Predator.
Nailed it.
Here's my initial takeaway from it was, why is the Predator huge now? Ben Spencer has an answer for me.
Well, okay, I have several answers and thoughts and stray things rattling around in the tuna can of my brain. One is that
Wouldn't your brain be in the tuna can? Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
good point. That Predator, it looks like we've got a Predator. We being humanity, whether that's the government or whether that's one of the Army Rangers in a Predator suit that we developed or something like that. It's like we started messing around and getting our own Predator, and then they sent a Predator after us. Super Predator, if you will. So that's what I think is going on here. I don't know if they've released a synopsis or something like that. This movie,
was pretty much it.
This movie doesn't look bad, but I'm also not excited for it. Like, I love Shane Black.
Me too.
Shane Black has my heart. Shane Black has my trust. So the fact that this doesn't cut together as like a traditional action movie trailer, that's fine, because he's all about the snappy dialogue and the character and stuff like that. But the other part is, man, I just wish we still had like the original characters. I know Arnold's really old, and I know Carl Weathers. Did he live through the first one? He's
Carl
alive.
Weathers, no, his arm came off, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Remember?
Yeah.
but who's?
I don't think anybody but Arnold lived through the first one, right?
Arnold was the only
He
team
was-
member
he
to
was the
live through
sole
the
survivor.
first one. Yeah.
I just wish there was like.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish it evoked the first one a little more, and this doesn't for me. But it looks like a fun sci-fi shoot-'em-up action movie.
So in the opening with Sterling King, like, I trust Shane Black. I love Shane Black. I love Sterling K. Brown. So in that opening, I thought it was evoking the original a little bit, and then it just went sideways a little bit for me. How about you?
Yeah, well, I was more I liked this one better than the previous one that we got. The first half of it, I was like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
Shane Black Predator movie, doing it, like new crew, got putting the cigarettes out on the tongue, doing the thing that you do, and it was around the part that we got to the. But there's a bigger Predator.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. It's just
That's where I went. Why?
That's a trope at this point. Is like, you know, that thing that you like. Well, there's a bigger version out there.
Or sometimes there's more.
There's more.
Yeah,
And
there's
it's
two
like,
of them now.
You know, that for me, as a fan of the first movie, the appeal for me was like Shane Black going back and kind of revisiting this film from his past, and so the idea of just like, you know, but there's a bigger Terminator. It's the same thing that sort of deflated me with Terminator Genesis, like when it was the idea of we've got Arnold and he's coming back and he's aged and we're kind of doing this new thing with the story. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then as soon as they were just like, and John Connor's a new hybrid Terminator, I'm like, okay.
And for some reason, I think that unlike Venom, a movie like Venom, where we're like, I want to see Venom, I feel like a little Predator goes a long way. Like, you want them to be the unseen thing in the shadows that you get one flash of, and you go, whoa, that looks cool. You want to see the Predator well lit in daylight, or not in daylight, but very well lit and very clear in a lot of these shots.
I got a Jason X vibe from the Super Predator, if I'm being honest.
And
I hope that's not true. I have a little more hope for this than from the last one, and you never really know until you see the movie.
You don't, and it's good to remain optimistic. The things that bumped on for me were the idea, like, that we're building them is also a trope that I'm not huge on. It can work, doesn't always. The giant one, and then also the thing about the Predator was when you empower something so much that it can take out entire teams, entire military teams, and then you just send in a lot of them, and huger versions of them. It becomes you've disempowered them now. You've taken away what you endow them with in the first place. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because then they are unbeatable. Roxy loved it.
I don't care if my taste is crap in your consideration. That's fine.
It's
not you guys.
No,
Not you guys. You guys at home. Or anybody. People disagree. I thought this was so fun. I watched this and I was like, okay, we haven't gotten this right yet. we haven't figured out a way to get a sequel that works for the Predator franchise. It just, they blow it and they blow it and they blow it. And how do we find that right combination of this is scary as crap, but it's also got some humor? And I feel like it did that, and it was exciting, and the trailer was well paced. It fell off a little bit at the end for me, but I was in, and I love a lot of, like, Sterling K. Brown, like you said, he's amazing. In Shane Black we trust. I'm excited to see what he will do with it. Hopefully he is able to not just have it be like witty joke after joke, and we did see kind of that a little bit in the trailer, but I thought it was so fun.
Well, there you go. There are the various opinions on the Predator.
Welcome,
you guys,
parents and STDs.
That's really amazing.
Do you think that's students?
I think it was
It's a little of both.
I think it was a little bit of everything
Yeah.
right there. Here's the only thing about with Shane Black in particular, and I am hopeful. Like sometimes this might be one of those occasions where the trailers aren't selling how good the movie is, and that's even better.
I hope so, yeah.
Of an experience. But he's also, this is a franchise in which he's got mandates. So it's not like it's going to be The Nice Guys, where it's like that is a Shane Black movie, full stop. You know what I mean?
That's true. I worry that,
Which is awesome.
There's the potential for like an Alien Covenant situation where the trailer is like 90% xenomorph and the movie is 90% android flute mirroring. But if the 90% is like Shane Black snappy patter dialogue, okay, and 10% Predator carnage, great.
All right, so we are enthusiastically in,
I'm so
cautiously optimistic.
They're selling this as a movie that I have not enjoyed in the past. However, I'm still interested in seeing the film.
I am interested in the Predator. I like that character, even though he's an asshole. He is featured on our wall, but the Predator is the dentist that shot the lion. Like the Predator from the first movie is that. That is what the Predator is.
The guy who shot Cecil the lion?
Absolutely. He comes in to basically safari to and like hunting a species that is
humans aren't
technologically-
endangered. There's way too many of us.
But they're technologically inferior to him. And then with his advanced technology, he's just hunting them down. He's kind of a dick. I still love the Predator. I'm just saying he's a little bit of a dick.
I don't know. He couldn't beat Arnold in his prime.
I know.
So
I was
looks
just
like it was a fair fight.
I was
got beat by a log.
Well, that was Arnold at the height of his powers, sir.
I was just imagining Predator Jimmy Kimmel on the Predator Jimmy Kimmel show getting very upset over the Predator hunting humans on Earth. This is not what we are. This is
I would watch that
unconscionable.
movie.
Predator Jimmy Kimmel.
We don't know
Why?
enough about Predator society.
Yeah.
I don't even think we know about their gender. Is
Why
there
do we
two
assume
genders?
They should put out a
that
documentary.
all the predators are hunters and not
Exactly.
Not, like,
I don't
not all
assume-
humans are hunters and poachers.
I don't assume that they are. That's my stance.
We've
my
been
whole
preditist
stance.
as a species.
We
You're
really
right.
have.
It really needs to
I
stop.
hope we go back to the home planet and see like the predators that run frozen yogurt shops and like their little mouth goes out and licks the frozen
You
yogurt.
think they have froyo? Wow,
Who
that's
knows?
advanced.
Exactly. Why are we assuming that all predators behave the same way when in fact this is clearly an elitist predator who got on a ship and decided to go to who can afford
He stole
all
the
that?
ship.
You're right. This is the retired dentist hunting retirement tour. Predator.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, settled
All right.
that.
Done. We solved it for us. We didn't even know it was a problem, but it's solved now. Mitch Lowe, who is the CEO of MoviePass, was doing a Reddit AMA this morning. We pulled out some selects from that. I wasn't able to read the whole thing just yet, but if you guys found things that you were particularly interested in, let us know as well, and we'll bubble back to that. He opened up, basically with the question everyone asks, hey, Mitch, people think that this business model isn't sustainable. That might have something to do with the fact that it isn't sustainable. Thoughts? And he basically gave like the same response that he's always given, talking about like companies that have investment and had significant losses initially, like Spotify, like Netflix, like Amazon, and eventually turn a profit. I'm really paraphrasing.
Gotta spend money to make money, Roth.
Yeah, basically, and they said, our intent is not to make money off the subscription service. Our intent is to break even on the subscription service. In the future, our path to profit will be by selling ads, engaging in brand partnerships, and creating our own content. So this is something that we sort of talked about a bunch. Thoughts, and then we'll go to the next one.
Well, there's something else he said that really, again, it's like, as a now former customer.
Well, I know what you're gonna talk about. That's the next bullet point, which you're talking about the moviegoer.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, that's the next bullet point. So basically, we know that he's looking for the MoviePass moviegoer. He said there are more than 200 million occasional moviegoers in the U.S. who only go to the movies 4 to 5 times a year without MoviePass. And 9 to 10 times a year when they join MoviePass. If we get enough occasional moviegoers to offset the frequent moviegoer like Dan, everything will balance out. But that's not even their full sort of plan. But this question sort of pairs, I think, what you want, which is please elaborate to Mitch Lowe. This is the question. Please elaborate on the break-even statement by end of year. You're burning over $40 million per month right now, and that is expected to increase over the coming months. Utilization has not dropped at all as expected. I believe that it's over 2 movies per user right now. It has been stated that you could require additional capital exceeding $1.2 billion.
2 movies per user per month? Is that what that means?
Yeah,
yes, which puts them in a loss.
Right.
Immediately. You're losing money immediately. From what I can tell, ad revenues and movie acquisitions are not even putting a scratch in the cash burn. Please quantify how by year end this suddenly turns around. I'm having trouble seeing it that way. There are over 30 million frequent moviegoers. Wouldn't it make sense that they would be the first to sign up and keep utilization high? What targeted marketing do you intend to do that will favor the infrequent moviegoer over the huge group of power users like Dan? And he said utilization has dropped significantly since we ended repeat viewings and instituted ticket verification. Movies are seasonal and summer is a high point. When we adjust based on seasonality, it has an impact. The new peak pricing feature is also aimed at helping to curb heavy use or supplement that use with more revenue. The important thing is that we're building peak pricing to be flexible. We can tweak it as needed. Now go, Dan.
That's the one thing that doesn't make the most sense to me at all is this idea of, oh, well, our plan for sustainability is attracting the occasional moviegoer. That'll offset. It's just like that to me, just as a business strategy, makes no sense. You have a product that is intended to subsidize the movie-going experience. Your customers are people that go all the time. That's why they sign up. That's what I don't understand is like their strategies, like they give strategies, but their strategies don't make any sense. It'd be like if Groupon was struggling and they're like, people are really using your Groupons a lot and you're losing a lot of money. What is your plan? And Groupon was like, well, our target customer is really the kind of person that just doesn't want to save a lot of money and doesn't use coupons very much. We think if we can get people that just really don't like savings and don't want to do savings a lot, then that'll balance out the people that use it all the time. It's like, no, that is the weird strategy to me in the sense of just like, here they are saying like our plan forward is to attract people that don't go to the movies very much to our product that is explicitly designed to save you money the more you go to the movies.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I don't understand, and that's where I think the disconnect is between the public. It's just like, they're losing more money. I mean, he's saying, well, usership is down from the time that we instituted ticket stub verification and repeat viewings. However, their own financial statement said that in May, they were burning through more cash than ever. Maybe usership is down, but they're still burning through more cash than they ever have. The idea of, I was reading today, it's just like, look at Amazon, look at, they would forever before they turned a profit. The difference was that Amazon and Spotify and Netflix had investors. They had a stream of cash. They had people financing their debt.
That's the next bullet point. Well, you guys want to weigh in just on that, because we'll get, I'm there with you, Dan. I feel it too. But do you guys want to weigh in that?
He dodged that question a little bit, which is, okay, if you're targeting occasional moviegoers, to me, that makes sense in a vacuum because it is a business plan. I know I brought this up before, but gym memberships are what I go back to, which is you have so many people who sign up for a gym and don't go. And that's just free money. Like those are your profitable customers. This case, okay, if he's targeting them, he dodged the question of how are you going to attract them? And then his answer was, I'm just going to make it worse for our frequent users.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any answer in there, how you're going to get people who see 4 or 5 movies a year to subscribe to a cheap movie ticket service.
Yeah, exactly, because those aren't the people that care to do that because they know they only see it 4 or 5. Also, it's a weird thing to me to invent a product that you don't want people to use. What do you think?
Yeah, that is that's the strangest concept to me as well. And I think that what he's trying to say eventually is that they're viewing this as a billboard and that this is their marketing budget and they're spending way too much on it, but they're going to use it as a way to make their own content and film their own stuff. And now everybody in the world knows what MoviePass is, and this is that. But he's not saying that. He's like skirting around that. And if that is the plan, it's just costing you guys too much money.
It's costing
you
money.
too much money for that plan. So it's a little confusing. He must know that. So either he has knowledge we don't have, or he doesn't get it.
So one of the things that he said he couldn't talk about was the dropping shares, but just to give you a picture of that. So somebody said, and to Dan's previous point, in all caps,
Whoa.
Mitch, those companies, he's talking about Amazon and all of that and Netflix, Mitch, those companies have debt financing. They didn't dilute their shareholders to oblivion. Get a financial backer or debt financing, many, many, many exclamation points. Now, to give you a picture of this, shares are, it's 25 cents a share right now. In March, it was at $3 a share. November, $14 a share. October 11th, $32 a share and some change. So rapid like decline is what people are talking about.
I think we call that plummeting.
And he's not willing to address that. He says he can't, but it's more complicated than we think, so on and so forth. But, you know, people are saying, to your point, Spencer, you know, I would rather be paying more for my subscription than paying an unknown price when I buy a ticket. When he's talking about the peak, which is one of the things that they're doing now, is like you'll basically pay peak prices like Uber. And he's like, well, you always know before leaving your house and so on and so forth. But that's not the model that people signed up
It's not
So
what's
it's
attractive
surging
about
prices
this service.
is what it is?
Yeah, $2.
Yeah.
They're going to
Surge
charge
prices.
$2 for movies that are on peak movies, and it's like
Based on the times or based on the films?
Based on the times.
Yeah. And he's like, well, you'll be able to go see it at another time. Like, yeah, probably when people can't go. Like the middle of the day when they're at work, and it'll be peak times on the weekends when they
Right.
can go see a movie.
Yeah, at least,
Or
yeah,
after
and
work
even in this
night.
AMA, it's just like, well, you know, the peak times for movies are probably going to be, you know, opening weekend. It's like, yeah. In other words, when the most people use your product that you don't want them to, that's what I agree. It's like, this is the most insane business model. It's like, our profitability counts on you not using our product, but we want more users. It's like, we want to sign as many people up for this thing, and we hope that they never use it. It's just like, that doesn't make sense.
Well, it does from their perspective. You're getting free money and doing nothing.
And they're being pretty
you're
candid
expecting
about
people
it.
to pay. It's like, I'd like to buy this pen for $5, please. And you're like, okay. And I give you the $5. And I'm like, here you go. I'm not going to use that. I just wanted to pay you $5 for this pen. I don't need to write anything, and I don't intend on writing anything. So here's my $5, and you just keep the pen there, and I'm not going to use it.
Really
That's the
expensive
stupidest strategy I've ever heard in my life.
But come on,
It
Dad. You
doesn't
never
make
signed up
sense.
for like a meal thing or like a gym or like something that a Rosetta Stone, and you're like, nah, I guess I don't really use
No.
this.
Yeah, but that's not going. But it's not. That's not a value-based thing. I don't like the gym membership is not because like, oh, it's so much cheaper for me to sign up for this gym membership than to not sign up for it because I'm paying twice as much to work out without
home.
it at home. It's like if the gym membership was $10 a month and they lost all of my money on their facilities fees, and they, like I'm as a customer, if I go once a month, then they lose money. That doesn't make sense. Like, this is the thing that I don't understand. And this idea, and this is so the thing that they keep dodging questions, and that's why as a customer, former customer, but especially as an investor, it's like they always reference, we have access to this $40 million line of credit. Like, that is not a line of credit. What they're talking about is issuing, and they're doing this, more and more shares of their stock. There's no guarantee that anyone's going to buy it. And again, that's not a line of credit. That's just maybe extra equity. And when that's gone,
Because they can't
it's
get
gone.
financing.
They can't get financing, and they're diluting the shares of everyone that's already invested in the company.
Yeah.
So you're basically making your company worthless on a
Yeah.
business model of attracting more and more users that you're praying don't use your product for a product that's designed to be used to its maximum value the more that you use it.
Yeah.
It is the most ridiculous, and take advantage of it if you have it, because it is a sucker's deal for them, and they're going to go into bankruptcy. Have you looked into not Mitch Lowe, but like the guy that's kind of steering the ship?
Well,
have you looked at how many companies he's driven literally to $0 on the stock market? Like it's a few tech companies. He comes in and they're just bankrupt when he's done with them. And use it while you can. This business model makes absolutely no sense, and the only solution that he has when they ask is, I don't know, more users' money.
Well, I think, Spencer, you've used that analogy, and it makes sense on paper. We do sign up for things that we don't necessarily use, but the companies don't lose money if we do use them. Mm-hmm. So if we go to the gym, they're in the same shape as if we don't go to the gym.
Sure.
And then two, to your point, Dan, yeah, they're not able to get financing because it's such a risky investment at this point. So they are quickly going to. I'll be shocked, and you never know. But I'll be shocked if MoviePass exists next year at the same time next year. And I think that the movie chains, like AMC is doing it today, is launching their own program today. The only thing that MoviePass might have done for the consumer is force theater chains to offer sort of competitive packages for the time being until they don't have to. And he actually addressed that too, talking about AMC's new model, saying the launch is a great validation of what we've been saying for years. In order to compete with streaming services, consumers want a subscription model. Even though we're a little disappointed in AMC for not supporting the model earlier, we understand it was a business tactic that they're a competitor now. We're happy that they've come around to believing in consumers to get them back in theaters, and this is a good thing for the industry overall. Competition creates the energy, and it's competition that will just make us better. And then when he sort of talked about, did they back AMC into this corner, Mitch said the increase in ticket prices is directly connected to a few huge corporations controlling the majority of the marketplace. Theaters are empty, and yet still profit is rising. This was the goal of MoviePass from the start. No, it wasn't, because two paragraphs earlier, you said the goal from the start was not to get people into theaters and not to make it easier for people to go to theaters, but to find suckers who would sign up for your thing and then not use it. That was your goal. You just told me that. You said that.
His goal is they want to curb. I mean, he even said it. It's like the ticket verification and peak pricing
so mad.
is to curb. Well, no. But this is the bullshit thing that CEOs, a lot of these companies do. Like, this is the doublespeak that gets people so. Because right here he sounds like the populace, the common man. We love movies.
We
That's
want
all
you to
we
go.
do. We want you to go.
You just
We're
said
here,
you didn't.
We're here to help you. But you're right. 2 paragraphs earlier is like we put these steps in to curb high usage.
Yes.
So it's like, so do you want people? Are you the common man looking out for the little people that just want them to go to the movies
and
for
looking
an
out for the
affordable
movie-going
price
experience
as often as they want? Or are you trying to curb the user use so that your company will not lose as much money? That's the doublespeak that drives people crazy.
How much does it cost a month?
Company $9.95.
$9.95.
Plus now
so
peak
it's like
pricing plus additional fees now if you want to do IMAX.
Let's say $120 to $150 a month, and then aimed at the occasional
year?
moviegoer who sees 4 movies a year. Yeah, he wants people to lose $80-$90 a year.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the
to
idea.
take $80.
The idea
of
is he wants to take $80 of your money a year, and it's just I'm signing up for AMC today for however long that lasts, and I feel like they feel like they've been forced into it a little bit.
What is their pricing?
So it's $20 a month. You can see 3 movies a week. You can see them all in one day if you want to. It's actually just the plan so the better plan for like somebody out of college for the summer or high school or whatever is MoviePass, because they can go see a movie every day. But for most people who can't do that and probably really only could go see 3 movies a week, just scheduling wise, even if you're a frequent moviegoer, AMC is a great plan.
If you have AMC theater.
If you have an AMC theater near you, you can buy your tickets in advance. You can choose your seats. You can go see IMAX. You can go see 3. It's just far more limber of a plan. So I'm signing up for that. I also think I have faith that AMC will still exist in a year. And this thing I think has been. We'll see how it shakes out in the end. Like, will that work for the theater chains? Because of the question I have about that one for a person like me that probably will go see 2 movies a week at an AMC.
Right.
How is that going to affect their business model? Are they just counting more on the concessions at this point? Because they're still going to have to pay the studios.
Right.
right?
Well, true, but I mean that's the other thing is with
Their
AMC,
share.
like they see the ancillary benefits that MoviePass doesn't. Like MoviePass is just subsidizing people going to the movies.
They're not getting those concessions.
They're not
money,
getting any. Yeah, they're
fees.
not getting any. Just like AMC, I pay them $19.95 a month, but the money that I spend on concessions that goes into their pocket.
Yeah.
If I bring someone in with me, that goes into their pocket.
That's why
Like,
MoviePass was trying to get a piece of concessions,
Yeah.
and AMC was like, "Get out of here."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
Do we
why.
know if they have repeat viewing?
Yeah.
You can see the repeat. You can see the movies as many times as you want.
pretty good.
I think it's a really great alternate option. I know we've been covering the holiday movie pass, and it feels like our feelings on it have gone the way of their stock.
Well, because at first they seemed like these mad geniuses. Because Mitch Lowe, I mean, the guy is a smooth talker. I wasn't in the interview. You and Billy, right, interviewed him, and I mean, he sold you guys on it, and it's like,
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I don't know about that. It seemed, he answered the question seemingly, but
I was skeptical the whole time.
when they first started, though, it seemed like they were these mad geniuses who
Yeah.
had somehow come up with this model, and boy, were they going to crack it. Like, we got this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. And all it's done is like tank, and they lose more and more and more and more and more money, and you're waiting for them to, like, pull back the curtain and be like, but this is our plan. And all they do is just double down, just be like, well, how are you going to solve this? We're going to get more subscribers. Like, but the fact that you have too many subscribers is why you're losing money. We're like, but more will solve that problem. Like,
It just
it
doesn't.
really won't.
I had MoviePass 3 years ago. I paid $35 a month. Were they making money then or no?
No.
So
I heard they were
that's
like
why they
sort
were
of-
evening out.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
breaking even at that point. I mean, here's the thing: is that it's been fascinating because I've never signed up for it. I've been consistently skeptical about it. I've been consistently skeptical that it had a chance to make money, but also that it was really ultimately a good thing for the moviegoer and for the theaters and for this industry, because any other time that we've seen people get a false sense of sort of a reduced price point for things that can't be sustained, then that industry suffers. And certainly we've seen, and there are ancillary consequences. There are benefits, and I know people will want to point that out too, but there are also consequences. And like, I just think that the way the theatrical experience is going, it's almost like it is an endangered species in a way. I don't know what the answer is to it. I know a lot of people are probably worried about it. There probably is no real answer. We're heading more and more to a streaming model, and that is the answer. That's the fact. But anyway, This is my favorite question. Did you actually like Gotti? And Mitch said, I saw Gotti and I didn't look at my watch once! Exclamation point.
I bet he doesn't wear a watch.
Huh, yeah.
He looked at his cell phone. I looked at my
Again,
watch many times.
did that answer the question?
Sort of. Yeah, a
CEO
little
talk.
bit of both. Plausible deniability.
He does this weird thing, Billy and I were talking about this before, where he actually doesn't do CEO talk in certain cases, but his candor is what is turning us off, because his candor is when he's saying to you, I built a thing that I kind of want to like get over on you, or I want to get over on people. I want to find the people that I can make money on. And that's certainly not an advocate for the people who want to go see movies, and it's not an advocate for the movies themselves that want to be seen.
His business model is I want to give people a bad deal.
Yeah.
That's not a good strategy. It's just like,
Well,
I
the
want
suckers
people to
will
be a
support
sucker.
the power users. That's the hope.
It's
Which isn't.
but the
happening.
power
Yeah.
users are your base.
Yes.
The power users are the ones. Plus, 4 power users is worth 20 suckers.
Yeah.
So not only do you don't even need to have an equal amount of suckers. You need like 4 times as many suckers to offset the power users.
And I think you're actually underselling that. I think it's probably worth
They
like
teach
30.
this equation in business school.
Yeah.
How many suckers do you need to offset the power users? Right here on the chalkboard. Step
One
right
per
up.
minute. Yeah.
Sorry, Roxy, what were you going to say?
No, legitimately nothing.
Do you guys have any other thoughts? Do you have feelings you want to express?
I believe that he didn't look at his watch during Gotti. It's like a slow motion car crash. Like, he can't look away.
It certainly feels like it's in slow motion. I felt like it was in a time distortion. I felt like I've been watching the movie for an hour, and I looked, and it had been 15 minutes since the last time I checked my watch.
Roxy, any final thoughts? You have MoviePass, yeah?
I got rid of it. I actually got rid of it when I was paying $35 and they were upping it to $45. And then after I got rid of it, it went to 10. So who's the sucker now?
Well, that's the question. And Mitch Lowe has an answer. Kevin Feige's also been talking about he's somebody that knows how to talk to the press. For sure.
Yeah.
About the MCU and heroes to be. He wants 50% female heroes. Okay, let's slow down. This is via an interview that he did with Screen Rant. He was talking about...
I love all their solo movies.
He said, quote, "Eventually, I think we're going to reach a time where it's not just..." And then he paused. "Listen, it would be amazing to see all of our female characters the way we have seen most, but not never all, male, but primarily male." And that's like a weird sentence structure, right? That makes sense when you're saying it out loud. So I want to unpack that and then go on with the rest of the quote. I think what he's saying is this. In a lot of the movies, we've never seen only male heroes, but a lot of times we've seen primarily male heroes. It'd be cool if those tables were turned and we flipped it. I think that's what he's saying
I agree.
And then he goes on to say, "I think we're getting to the point soon where we have so many great female characters that those are just our heroes, as opposed to when they are all female or all male. It's just the Marvel heroes, more than half of which will be women." So there you have it. Thoughts?
Okay. I mean, clearly that's not the case now. And they'll have to develop more household female superhero names because, like, you can't ride Spider-Man and Thor, although I guess they've all been women at certain points. So they could all take on the masks and the cowls and the capes and etc. of male heroes.
It would have to be the heroes we see as males now in their female form.
Right.
It would not be new heroes.
Is that what he's saying?
No, he's not saying that. I'm saying that based off of what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, there are things, there's She-Hulk, there's Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen, things like that. But there's also female characters that are, Jean Grey. So if the Fox merger goes through, you got Storm.
That's definitely a big one.
Do you think they've done better on television than in the movies in that regard?
Definitely. Yeah. Not even just superheroes, but you had Agent Carter. She had her own show.
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, obviously her own show.
If we go to DC, Supergirl.
Yeah. But even on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they have a better balance. You have May, and you've got Quake, and you've got people on that show, and with Kevin Feige, I think it's like part of it is steering an aircraft carrier in the sense that, like, they can't just make hard right turns immediately. They can't make a 90-degree turn, like, just because they're planned out 8 years in the future. But also, it's like, I just go back to how many times people have asked him about Black Widow. Mm-hmm. His answer's been exactly the same. I guarantee if you go back 6 years to people asking him about a Black Widow movie, he says the exact same things. Like, man, it would be great if we got to that point eventually. But he
said
right
this.
now.
He said the same thing
every time.
about like gay and lesbian or
LGBTQ
superheroes. Like, we're definitely gonna have one eventually.
Yeah.
So, I hope that they remain committed to that. They're developing a lot of new characters. Captain Marvel obviously is going to be added to the roster very soon, and we'll see what happens with Scarlet Witch. Who knows?
It's a nice thought, but also I think it's not necessarily just about the amount of female superheroes as it is about the amount of screen time that female superheroes are getting. And I'd rather see them fully develop and give real storylines instead of just like throw a bunch of women on the screen.
That's a really great point.
And also, I feel like if a big comic book franchise was going to make this statement, it would have been a better one to hear from like Kevin Tsujihara, because I think for DC, there's so many household names. I'm not talking about if the Fox merger is included, because then they've got a lot of them, but like with our Gotham City Sirens / Birds of Prey movie, I mean, the fact that we can throw out like Poison Ivy's more of a household name, or now Harley Quinn, obviously, or Catwoman is more of a household name, or Barbara Gordon Oracle, like all of these heroes for DC, I think it would be easier to have 50% based on what we have right now, and also like having Wonder Woman be so early on. I get what he's trying to do and I appreciate it. I don't know if it will ever happen, and I also don't know if I would want it to happen in the capacity that he's suggesting.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point that it's kind of like, it's sort of, what I was saying is, we just want like good characters, that's it. And so if it's just like a bunch of characters, and this goes for filmmaking and storytelling in general, like it's sort of circling back all the way to the beginning, a bunch more of things is not necessarily the answer. You know,
The bigger the better. Go big or go home, Roth.
I'm not saying by the way, I'm not in no way saying I'm opposed to this
I know.
sentiment at all, of course, at all. I'm just saying, like, write great good characters and give them good story arcs.
Yeah.
And give them things to do.
Yeah.
And then we'll be happy, right?
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it should be, given their past track record, a cakewalk for them to make compelling characters out of female superheroes that no one's ever heard of.
Exactly.
Because they've done it a million times
Yeah.
with male raccoon and whatever superheroes.
Well,
So-
Iron Man
Gamora.
initially. Iron Man was their big bet. Nobody was invested in Iron Man when that came out as a character. Probably a lot of people in Hollywood thought, like, this isn't Spider-Man, this isn't Batman, nobody cares. And it was a hit. So
yeah,
go ahead.
like I can't wait for Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
You know, and that sounds real stupid, but I just trust the process. I believe in it.
A lead Marvel superhero, female superhero, whose A or B story isn't which male member of the team is she in love with?
Yeah.
Like Gamora, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow. Like that's kind of been their MO so far. It's like, yes, there's a female superhero, but which boy does she like?
Yeah.
Like,
That's the
okay.
real question.
I do wonder who Captain Marvel's crushing on.
Yeah, who's Captain Marvel crushing on? Is it Nick Fury?
Or is it some random Kree? We don't know.
Chris Pratt, probably. Like, they'll find a way to work another Chris in.
Yeah.
Well, Chris Pratt's already. Yeah.
I know that's.
They'd have to get.
He parachutes
Yeah.
in from one of them.
They'd have to
Two
get
two
Chris
generations
Pine.
of
Chris
Pine.
Pine.
Pine is in
I
Wonder
get what
Woman.
you're doing, though.
Ah, yes.
Pratt's Star-Lord. You're confused because
I've got one Chris
because
P
I've
confused for
already-
another Chris P.
because I've already named the best Chris, which is Evans, as
Yes.
you know.
Yeah. Agree.
He's Boston boy. I'll take that one.
All right, that's 3 for Evans today. Normally I'm outnumbered. Boom! I think we've settled it. Let's just stop there. Do you have more things to say about
It's
the?
Hemsworth, but okay.
Okay, I feel like we've talked about a lot of things today, and I just want us to, take a deep cleansing breath and just say something we feel really good about. What are we excited about this week, Spencer? I'm going to see Ant-Man tonight. I'm super psyched. I liked
Well,
that Ant-Man.
Yeah. In continuing.
And the Wasp.
In continuing guac talk, I went full millennial and made avocado toast this morning.
Oh, good.
Just a little toast, a little avocado.
At least you
And
made
then-
it yourself.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm
it
really
was
proud of you.
total cost, less than $1.
Yeah.
And then the secret sauce. Trader Joe's sells everything bagel seasoning. Do you know about
yeah,
this?
it's so
Woo!
good.
You can put that on anything.
You could.
Eggs,
It's so good.
your hand, avocado.
You could just lick that off a wall.
Yeah.
and
Are you
set for
eating
the
your hand
day.
with it, or are you licking
whatever.
it off your hand?
Dealer's
Either way.
choice. That's what I feel good about.
I do have a number of follow-up questions, starting with the first one. Okay, they'll be really quick. I promise you guys. What kind of toast did you mash the avocado? Did you drizzle a little bit of olive oil? If you did, was it seasoned olive oil or was it plain olive oil? And then you completed
That's a lot of
obviously with the seasoning, the everything bagel seasoning.
Right. So today was just whole wheat toasted, fairly crisp, but not burnt. And
Dan, are you writing this down?
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
The
It's like
avocado
watching a Julia
was
Child show.
ripe enough that it wasn't like mushy, but I did, with a couple good presses, mash it in.
Get
I
that
did everything
damn
bagel
mushy.
today.
Mushy.
Usually I just do a
Mushy.
little salt, little olive oil, a little squeeze of lemon if I got one.
I like that squeeze of lemon.
And that's
Not too
it.
much
You
lemon, Dan.
Got yourself a stew going.
Not too much.
Okay,
Little
so
squeeze.
for tomorrow, what I would suggest for you is to add back in the olive oil, a little bit of salt, a
Yeah.
little bit of lemon, and go for that everything bagel seasoning.
You guys are
which-
missing the bacon bits. It does not matter if you don't got
Ooh.
bacon.
Roxy, what are you excited about today? Bacon?
Bacon? Yeah.
Bacon.
I'm going to get my hair done today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited in the vein of what this show talks about. I was telling you guys before, I saw Whitney and it was so good.
Yeah.
And I just keep thinking about it and crying to myself in a good way. So it's
Awesome.
I'm excited about that film when people see it.
I really want to see that one. Dan, what are you excited about today?
I'm excited to see Ant-Man and the Wasp. Talking about it a little bit yesterday. It's like this would be a nice little breath of levity, a little fresh air, hopefully.
Yeah.
I hear it's a
just
fun
little-
standalone movie. It's all I want.
Yeah.
Right now.
Exactly. It's a little change up from the last few superhero movies in general, kind of. But the MCU's the last couple have been a little heavy, heavy themes. Some some fun, but a little heaviness. So I'm hoping for a little bit of levity. That would be nice.
I think that's going to be great. And true fact, I interviewed Evangeline Lilly at a Comic-Con a couple of
Love
years
her.
ago for her book that she wrote. She wrote a children's book, which I highly I think it's called the Squicker Knockers, and if I'm getting that wrong, I'll get it right tomorrow. It's really good, actually, very creative. She came in about an hour early with one rep, which like no one does that. And I chatted with her for a really long time. She's amazing. She's my best friend. I love her. Yay the Wasp. Honest Trailers commentaries, and movie fights this Thursday are other things that you can get excited about. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Roth.
Lending
Thanks for
your
steering the ship.
wisdom, and bye.